What's up, everybody? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to the Sharpe Reality Introductory Podcast. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with who I am and what I do, I'm a longtime contributor for Return of Kings. I've been writing for the site for about 3 years, and during that time, I've written about just about everything from women, sports. I've talked a little bit about the racial components of game, and I've even told several of my own stories regarding my failures with women. The list goes on and on. I tell my buddies all the time I could talk about this stuff for hours, and so I decided I'll do a weekly podcast. Now, what the Sharpe Reality is going to provide is a little bit different from most red pill or manosphere related material out there. Now, sure, we're going to cover all the basics. We'll talk about girls, game, fitness, etc. But where the Sharpe Reality will separate itself is that I'm going to give you guys real world accounts of my personal experiences with all of this stuff. For example, about a year and a half ago, I did an article about the very real dangers of letting a damaged woman into your life. Now, that topic had been written about and talked about ad nauseum, but I talked about my own experience with a girl who fucked me over so badly. I lost my car, I lost my job, my apartment. I dropped out of school, started doing cocaine, popping pills, and I ended up having to live with a couple of her drug addict friends because I didn't have anywhere else to go. I was basically homeless. It's a hell of a story, and I'll certainly fill in all the details at some point on a future podcast. But the bottom line is this, guys. I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you about something I read about somewhere, or something somebody else did or tried. I'm not going to waste your time with theories or thought experiments. I'm not going to bore you with things like how to pass shit tests, how to approach women, how to be confident, blah, blah, blah. Now, don't get me wrong here. That stuff is important, and you have to have a good foundation, and you got to have a really good handle on those things to start living a better life. But there's plenty of great information on all that stuff. You can find it on Return of Kings, the Roosh V forum, rooshv.com, The Rational Male, Illimitable Men. You can find this stuff anywhere and everywhere. So I'm not going to be another PUA podcast. Everything I discuss here will be things I've actually experienced personally. Most things I'll talk about will be about the things I've gone through myself, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm not going to leave anything out to make myself look better or less embarrassing. I'll talk about what worked, what didn't, the lessons I've learned, the changes I've made. Because giving men honest accounts of my successes and my failures has a greater impact. Something else I'll do is take questions from you. If you guys have questions about fitness, game, girls, relationships, finances, anything you can think of that applies to you as a man and helps you to kick life's ass, send them to me. I'll answer them as best I can based on my personal experiences, nobody else's. Now, again, I'm not a fitness expert or a financial guru or anything like that, but I do make my money work very well for me. I'm in great shape, and I do great with women. So if I can answer your questions, or at the very least point you in the right direction, great. If I can't, I will make sure that I find someone who has personal experience in whatever you're asking about, whether it be a close friend of mine, some of my fellow writers at Return of Kings, or even a listener. One way or another, I'll find a way to get the answers, and we'll all learn something. I take tremendous pride in the fact that I'm a self-made man. Everything I am today is because of me and me alone. Nobody taught me how to approach and handle women. Nobody taught me about being financially shrewd and how to save money, because like a lot of you out there, I was raised by a weak father who literally didn't teach me any of that stuff. Now, I certainly don't hold it against him, but I knew I had to figure this shit out on my own. Now, it took a little while, and it certainly wasn't easy. I made a lot of mistakes, had plenty of setbacks, and a lot of embarrassment, but I stuck with it, and eventually everything came together. With the help of the manosphere, I learned how to sleep with pretty girls and do it consistently. Through trial and error, I taught myself how to manage and save my money. I also eventually found the discipline to whip myself into shape after weighing over 300 pounds, and I'll talk about that in a future podcast as well. So to wrap things up here, guys, The main reason I'm doing this is because so many men out here are fucking miserable. You can see it in their faces as you walk by them, driving their cars, at work, what have you. I was in that boat 6-7 years ago, and at the end of the day, we're all on the same side here, guys. I'm almost 40 years old, and I can honestly say that I've never been happier. Sure, my life... A woman never belongs to you. It's just your turn. Of course her parents don't have a problem with me being black. She's past the wall. Get your fat ass off the couch, start lifting weights, and learn game. You're welcome.
So you got drunk at a frat party, then fucked the football team? You're not a rape victim, sweetheart.
You're a slut.
What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to the 300th edition of TSR Primetime, your daily dose, nightly dose, rather, of Red Pill Truth, Wisdom, and Awareness. It is Monday, July 23rd, 2018. And yeah, guys, this is episode 300. It is very hard for me to believe that I've done 300 of these. When I started this thing out, I remember, and of course you guys just heard the introductory podcast there. I remember when I started this thing out, I remember thinking I just wanted to do this as sort of a weekly podcast. So at first I did it every Tuesday, then I was doing it every Tuesday and Thursday, and before long I was doing it every day, or I was doing it almost every day. Then of course on Labor Day of 2017, I decided to show my face for the very first time. My show took off, shot itself into the stratosphere, and the rest is history. So, but again, this was supposed to be just a hobby of mine. It is inconceivable at this point, or at that point, to think that I was, how can I put this, that I was going to have 300 episodes. 300. I've been at this for 2 years. A little over 2 years, actually, and of course I've been writing for Return of Kings and NegroManosphere.com for a combined 6+ years. So I'm certainly happy to be here. And again, guys, I'm not here without you guys, for sure. Without your support, without your without your positivity, guys, TSR Primetime certainly would not have made it. We all remember the YouTube debacle, and of course I certainly had a contingency plan in place for that, no doubt about that. But even then, at that point in time, even though I had a contingency plan in place, I didn't really know that the show was going to continue with the success. Well, the show has become more successful than I ever thought possible. And so here we are in episode 300 of TSR Primetime. We've gone through a lot of changes. We've changed the times. We've changed the graphics. I've upgraded the studio. I invest the money right back into my studio. It's great to have you guys in here for episode 300. And listen, here's to another 300 more. Hopefully we'll get another 300 episodes in. So congratulations to you guys. This is as much your accomplishment as it is mine. And I'm not just saying that. This really is. Without you guys, I certainly would not be here. There's no doubt in my mind. We are streaming live simultaneously on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter, and area code 651. I see you in the call queue. I'll get to you in just a second. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter, and of course DonovanSharpe.com. However you are watching, wherever you are watching, thank you for making TSR Primetime part of your day. I greatly appreciate the fact that you guys take a time out of your busy schedules to listen to me run my mouth every night. Also, if you're on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube, I'm not looking at the chat. If you want to be heard in the chat, go to DonovanSharpe.com and get involved in the chat there. Listen, I have a nice big screen, but it's not big enough to be looking at 8 different things. I've got enough to do. Listen, I welcome the audience, but if you just want to listen and not chat, no problem at all. If you got something to say, I'm going to give you the call-in number here in a second. But if you want to chat, come to DonovanSharpe.com, and the chat box is on the right-hand side. 914-205-5356 is the number to call if you want to get on the show. If you have a question, comment, personal story you'd like to share, give me a call. 914-205-5356. If you have a story about tonight's topic, about tonight's episode, which is going to talk about the fact that you'll never be the biggest or the best she's ever had, but you can be the man she never forgets, give me a call on that too. 914-205-5356. Again, if you don't want to call in, you can always chat. It's right next to the video player. If the video is running a little slow, it's likely because of the chat software that we use. So what you do is you click on the video only link just below the video player on donovansharpe.com, and that usually does the trick 9 times out of 10. Follow, add, and like me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just do a quick search for Donovan Sharpe on all 3 platforms. For all things Donovan Sharpe, go to donovansharpe.com if you want to check out the archive of all episodes of TSR Primetime. You will also have access to the better than 200 plus columns, that was redundant, to the 200 plus columns I've written for Eternity Kings and NegroManosphere.com. My latest article entitled Why There's No Such Thing as Karma dropped last week on NegroManosphere.com, and it's actually one of my better posts, so you definitely want to get over there and check that out. If you want to contribute to the show, go to www.streamlabs.com/Donovan's Den. You can use any credit or debit card. You can use PayPal, and you can also use Bitcoin. So if you like the show and you get something out of it, drop a little something in the tip jar at www.streamlabs.com/Donovan Sharpe. Every little bit counts, guys. No contribution is too great or too small. 914-205-5356 is the number to call if you want to get on the show. Area code 651. You are on the line with Donovan. Go ahead.
Donovan Sharpe, how do you get the motivation and creativity to do shit to your girl and do it right? And what I mean by that is if I'm getting laid on the regular, it's kind of scary for me to like want to push the envelope. Like I want to put my thumb up her ass, I want to lick her ass, I want to do anal. Because if like she says no, I'm gonna get shut down. I'm gonna get all butthurt about it. Like, oh no, she doesn't like that.
Sure.
So how do you get the motivation to do it and do new things right, like handcuffs, anal play, eating pussy, licking ass, handcuffs, or whatever?
Yeah, listen, let me ask you this. Let me answer your first question. You said, how do you get the motivation? Are these things you want to do?
That's the second part of it, is the creativity. I want to do it, but it's also kind of hard to want to do it when I'm getting laid once or twice a day, every day.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, listen, if you want to do it, you don't really need motivation, and you're doing what's called ETF 42ing the show. ETF 42 is a former viewer of mine who seemed to be clairvoyant in the way of the show. He always sort of jumped the gun and talked about the show. This one's real simple. Here, area code 651. If you want to do those things. And if you're getting laid, once or twice a day, she's going to let you do those things. And I don't want to get into some long diatribe or anything, but if your value is high enough and your girl wants to please you, you can get as creative as you want. But the 2 things you must do: number 1, don't ask permission, and number 2, just do it. Don't ask her, hey, can we do anal? Right. No, you press the head of your cock against her ass, and if she doesn't give you any resistance, let the good times roll. If you want to lick her, now I'm not really an ass licker, I'm not a pussy licker, but if that's something you want to do, throw her down on the bed, pull down her panties, open her legs, lick the pussy, lick the ass. Again, as a man, you have to understand that you're in charge in the bedroom. She's the one being penetrated, you're the one doing the penetration. Right? So a woman will always, like, it's a coquettish dance, so to speak. On the dance floor, the man leads, the woman follows. It's the same thing in the bedroom. Whatever you feel like doing, just start to do it. And again, I mean, obviously you're not going to do anything she doesn't want to do. If she doesn't want you to fuck her in the ass, trust me, she'll make that very, very clear. But if there's something you want to do, just do it. Don't talk about it. Don't ask about it. If you want to get handcuffs or if you want to get wrist and ankle restraints, dude, bring them home one night. Be like, yo, we're going to try these at some point. Well, when are we going to try it? I don't know. Depends on the mood I'm in. It might be tonight, might be a week from now, but it's definitely on the table.
Right. All right. Well, I guess my own problems in my own head. So I get worried about when she sort of says no, or I get resistance, and I get stuck in my head. So, all right. Thanks.
No, listen.
More questions later.
Right. Listen to the rest of the show, because I'm going to address this directly during the show. Like I said, you kind of jumped the gun, man. You're taking away from my show's value. Of course, I'm talking tongue in cheek, but stick around, listen to the show. We're going to address that directly. Thanks for the call, man. Area code 229. Let me go ahead and I'm going to take one more call before we get into this here. Area code 229. You're on the line with Donovan. Go ahead.
Hey, Donovan. What's up, man? It's Sean.
Hey, Sean. What's up, brother? Sean in Florida. Man, Sean in Tampa.
On 300.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. It's taken a while to get here, but I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Absolutely, bro. Well, yeah, I just wanted to call in. As far as like the last guy that called in, I would just tell him, like you said, man, if your value's high enough, dude, you just do whatever you want. Like Patrice O'Neal says, if I like you and you love me, that's a perfect relationship.
There you go. That's right. That's right.
And you basically, because if you love the girl too much and you treat her like a porcelain doll, you won't want to shove her face in the pillow and fuck her.
That's
And
right.
You can't ask her. You can't ask for permission. That defeats the purpose. So
That's right.
I would
That's
just
right.
straight up say, hey man, hold your frame and take it.
Listen, again, it's just like I told that guy. But what a lot of guys, they make two mistakes. Number one, they ask permission, and number two, if they get rejected, they never try it again. Dude, you think every girl I've tried to fuck in the ass has let me fuck them in the ass? Of course not. Dude, some girls are scared of that shit. No, my God. And I'll try 2 or 3 times.
Yep.
But if she doesn't want to, she doesn't want to. But guess what? A lot of those girls I try again maybe a week or 2 later, and she was down for the cause. That's the first thing they do is they ask permission. Hey, can I fuck you in the ass, or can you suck my dick? No. That is coming from a position of neediness. If you want her to suck your dick, push her to her knees, grab her hair, and stick your dick in her mouth.
Yes.
That's what you do. If you want to fuck her in the ass, press the head of your cock against her asshole and let the good times roll.
She'll be turned on more by the idea that you're making her do it than the actual activity itself. It's so interesting.
Sean,
It's like,
dude.
oh my God, he's making me do this.
Right. Women love this shit. They want to be. Women crave structure. They crave a demanding presence. They don't want a guy to ask permission or to pander to her. No, they want a man to make her do these things, man. Great call, Sean. I appreciate you calling in. 914-205-5356 is the number to call. Let's go ahead and get to the topic at hand. A lot of us, most of us actually, are in relationships with women on some level. A lot of us have wives, girlfriends, fuck buddies, friends with benefits. We all have different relationships with different women of varying degrees. A lot of times, a woman will tell us, OMG, you're the biggest cock I've ever taken, or that was the best sex I've ever had. Gentlemen, let me be the first to tell you, it is never true. Unless you are... honestly, dude, listen, I can't even qualify that statement. Listen, you will never, ever, ever be the biggest cock she's ever taken. You will never be the best or greatest lover she's ever had. Listen, unless your dick is in the top 1% in terms of size, unless you've had women into the double digits tell you that you're the best that she's ever had, your girl is lying to you. Now, for the rest of us, for the rest of the 99.9%, appreciate the shout out there, Captain Crunch 420 on episode 300. For the rest of us, we will never be the biggest or the best she's ever had. The average woman has had far more sexual experience than the man that she's with. Let's do some simple math. The more sex a woman has had, the more oversized cocks that she has had, right? If she fucks enough guys, she's gonna fuck a few that are in the top 1% in terms of size, right? And guess what? If she fucks guys into the double and triple digits, eventually she's gonna run into a few guys that make her shake, make her squirt, give her mind-numbing, mind-blowing, eyes rolling into the back of the head orgasms. She's gonna run into the guys like that. The more men she sleeps with, the more likely it is she'd been fucked by bigger cocks and guys who fuck like porn stars. This is just how it is. But because you will never be the biggest or the best she's ever had, you can be unforgettable. And I'm gonna give you 3 very, very simple ways to be the man she never forgets. She's going to be the man she talks about before she talks about the biggest cock she's ever had. The guy who fucked her the best. This is not just tongue in cheek. I'm being dead ass serious about this. So at this time, if you are watching on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or Twitter, come on over to donovansharpe.com to watch the remainder of the episode again. My Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter audience. Ooh, my girl is making shrimp. Oh, she's making bacon wrapped shrimp tonight, and I can already smell it. Holy shit. Anyway, again, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter audience, come on over to donovansharpe.com to watch the rest of episode 300 of TSR Primetime. Thank you guys very much for tuning in, and I will see you guys here in just a minute. All right, very good. Excellent. Let's give a shout out to my mod squad here. Shout out to Manish. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. The Jackman, appreciate that. Sharpe Assist, congratulating me on episode 300. Absolutely. I still can't believe I'm doing episode 300. I don't